Welcome to All Wheel Driven, a podcast by Audi Club North America, where we explore all things Audi and the incredible people who bring it to life. All Wheel Driven is presented by XPEL, the official paint protection film of Audi Club. Welcome back to All Wheel Driven, the Audi News Roundup from Audi Club North America. I am your host, Joe Kucinski. Each month, we take a closer look at some of the biggest headlines that are shaping the four rings, from industry trends to enthusiast perspectives. And today, I am joined by Rich Ortiz. He is the general manager of Audi West Chester, and we're going to be diving into a few of our latest articles on our blog and the dream, which includes the dream of maybe diesel making a comeback. We're going to talk a little bit about the Q6 E-Tron, which dethroned the Q5 in third quarter sales, and why the fourth quarter of 2025 might be the best time to buy yourself an Audi. So, Rich, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited.
Absolutely. All right. Great. Rich, we'll get started with this kind of TDI resurrection thing. So it started with an article that I just kind of dreamt up about a month or so ago, and I put out there. I was like, hey, is now the time maybe for diesel to come back, right, to America? The other markets in the world have it. Still seems to be popular. I know a lot of folks have some fond memories of their Audi TDIs, and when I published that, it got a lot of feedback. A lot of folks seem to be on it, but that doesn't mean Audi's going to make it, right? So I wanted to kind of get your perspective. Have you heard folks talk about diesel, either customers or anything from Audi themselves? What's your take on the whole TDI situation?
So, diesel is it's a very interesting subject. Depending on who you talk to, you get different perspectives. I have come across a handful of customers that still drive their TDIs and are very much in love with them. The demand for it over the years, it's kind of dwindled. I've been with Audi for 2.5 years, and I was with Volkswagen for 5 years prior to that. And every year, it's fewer and fewer people inquiring about it. Um, those who have them love them. They hold on to them. They're still in service at 150, 180, 200,000 miles. It's an incredible vehicle. I think that with Audi and the Volkswagen Group's plans for the U.S., there's been no real mention of the TDI returning to the States. Sadly, for the people who do want to see it come back, very very popular in the EU, across Europe, but the demand for it in this market is not entirely there. And for the past close to a decade now, Audi has put almost all of their resources into EV, electric vehicle, and I think that given the changes that happened this year with EV, I'm not sure how they would repurpose or recalibrate their strategy. So as far as I know, there's no return date for the TDI to the States, but that doesn't change the fact that a ton of fond memories. And if you know anyone who has a TDI vehicle still, they will tell you how much they love that car. That much is a guarantee.
For sure. All right, sorry, TDI fans. Sounds like you're just going to have to hold on to what you got, or buy one pre-owned.
They'll run for it.
So right, exactly. So Rich, you say that the interest in it, from what you're hearing, is kind of dwindling a little bit from the client perspective, customer perspective. What is that being replaced with? Are more and more folks being interested in EVs? Are folks more interested in hybrid? Are they holding out for regular combustion engines again? Like, what are folks most excited about that you see on a daily basis?
So, I've been at this Rochester location since July. Previously, I was in Princeton, New Jersey, and I think a lot of the demand and the talk around what they're looking for is very geographical. There's Audi dealerships out west that for the past 2-3 years have found tremendous success in the EV segment. When I was in Princeton, it was a very, very, very good EV market. Not just Audi, but if you drive through downtown Princeton, you count 10 cars, at least 5 of them are going to be EVs. In some instances, you might find 8. So where I am now, the demand is a little bit softer. It's not as I don't want to say popular, but it's just not as there's not as much of a demand of it out here. This is more of a rural area. A lot of trucks on the road, SUVs. So it varies. There's dealers, like I said, in California that were selling 50, 60, 70 EVs a month for the past 2.5 years. We did pretty well. We were among the top dealers in New Jersey. We were, I think, in the top 3. So it varies. But I will say, if I had to pick one and just generalize it, it's people. I find people are more interested in the combustion engines again. There's a lot of people asking about if Audi will produce the R8 again. West Chester is a sport Audi store, so we get a greater supply of the RS models and do very well with them here. There's a lot of demand for that, and I think at its core, an Audi enthusiast does enjoy to drive fast. So obviously EVs do provide some a great amount of speed, but I think at its core, the internal combustion engine is probably what people want to see Audi continue to build on and provide newer, faster, better ways to build their cars.
Right. So speaking of kind of the the R8 and the RS performance cars, and kind of combined with the EV, right? So now we have the Concept C, which is the new direction. Audi's position is kind of between the TT, the old TT, and the R8. Certainly looks like an exciting car. Have customers approached you about those? Talk to you about the concept car at all? Are they excited about it? Are they asking to have their name put on the list? Are you taking deposits? What's going on with the Concept C?
So I've not been asked to take a deposit yet, but we do have quite a few enthusiasts that service here, customers of ours, and I like to talk to anybody that will talk to me in the showroom. So I have had a couple people make mention of it. It is, I think, the all new A5 and S5. That launch was pretty well received, and people are excited to see next year when the RS model comes out. So there's more talk about in my showroom about those cars that they know. Where we've got a new Q3 coming out next year, new Q7. They're introducing the Q9. These are certainly more talked about vehicles on a day-to-day for me. And personally, I know they're coming, so I'm very excited about those. Audi was for a while, like I said, 2.5 years I've been with the brand. And for a while, Audi was amongst like premium brands. They had the oldest portfolio. So we had clients who were coming out of their second Q5 lease in a row, and were faced with possibly having to get into a third one that was almost identical. So the all new Q5, when that came, that was very exciting. We had been waiting a while for it. The A5 as well, and I think continuing that, the Q3, we sent 2 of our employees to Germany for like a product launch training, and sent the salesperson and one of my shop foremen, and both came back more excited about the Q3 than anything, which was pretty exciting to hear. Q3 has always done well in the U.S. It's a SUV dominated market, and that segment is growing. And from what I've seen in photos and what I've heard from my 2 employees who were there, that should be one of our more exciting releases in a while. And I think continuing down that internal combustion engine path is exactly how the brand can continue to build on that excitement and refresh. So coming into this year, we had one of the oldest portfolios in that regard, and to start next year and the following year, we'll be one of the freshest with Q3, Q5, A5, S5, SQ5, Q7, and Q9. They'll there will be a lot of new product to talk about, and that's really what drives excitement. It's what's new.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So a lot of product training coming up for you and the team, right?
Yeah, which is fun. When it's on something brand new, it's fun. To get training on stuff we're familiar with could be a little redundant, but yeah, everyone's pretty excited about what 2026 is going to bring.
Nice, nice, great. So we talked about the EVs a little bit. We talked about the Q3, the Q5, obviously. So some interesting news from Audi's third quarter sales results, which is the Q5 has kind of been dominating in the US as the sales leader for a while now.
Yeah.
Q3, not the model, the time frame, third quarter, I should say. Um, Things changed a little bit, right? There was the Q6 E-Tron took over as the sales champ for the third quarter, took it from the Q5. Uh, Likely the expiring federal tax credit probably had something to do with that. But just in general terms, Rich, what are folks saying about the Q6 e-tron? Do you think that's something that'll hold? Do you think it will continue to outsell the Q5, or is that just a blip in your opinion due to the credit situation?
I think I wouldn't say it's entirely a blip, but that credit situation was essentially the first domino in the total effect. So prior to August, I think once the tax credit was announced that it was going away, we did see a spike. I was in Princeton at the time. Again, a very, very dominant EV market. We did see a spike. There, we certainly sold more EVs than, the area and the group that I'm in now, Pennsylvania. Definitely not as big of an EV state as New Jersey. But I think Audi was averaging about anywhere from 1,400 to 1,500 EV sales a month through the year up until about August. And through July, August, and September, in those 3 months, Audi sold 15,000. So it picked up dramatically, a massive increase in demand, and cleaned out almost every dealership I'm aware of. There's a couple of dealerships that may have one or two in stock, but yeah, the Q6 was doing well in terms of its expected performance. And then with the announcement of the tax credit going away, Audi poured all of their incentive power into moving the EV, and that is why we saw those results over the 90 days of the third quarter. I went from, trying to, stir up some business on EV at my new location to, I started the month of September with 7 EVs left in stock, and I ended up delivering a total of 18. I had to bring in an additional 12 cars to satisfy customer needs, which was a great, good problem to have.
Right.
And in terms of the, our customers' perception of them, they love them. I mean, I'm not sure if you've had the joy of being inside of one. It's like being inside of a spaceship. It is an incredibly well-built car. The display, the fit, the finish is all there. I actually drive a Q4 e-tron that at least that last year in December, there was some really good programs around Season of Audi. And so I drive that, and my wife had Q8 e-tron, and then she had two. Before that, she had 2 of the original e-tron iterations where it didn't have like a model designation. It was just Audi e-tron. So
Right.
we've had an EV in the house for close to 5 years now, going on 6. And at first, I was a little bit, hesitant, skeptical. That range anxiety that they talk about is real.
Sure.
But, working at a dealership and having a charger at home, that just gets eliminated pretty simply. And so I love the car, and I think what I find most enjoyable about it is the same thing that most of the customers do. Not only can you make it work with, whether you work from home or you have a short commute or you take public transport or you have a long commute. There's a lot of infrastructure that's available in in this area, especially in New Jersey, that people are not aware of.
Mhm.
One of the best analogies I was given was, someone asked me, do I get my nails done? And I was like, no. Well, then they were like, do you know how many nail salons there are around you right now? And I said, no. They said, there's 12, but you'd never know because you're not looking for them. So people who don't believe that they can charge their EV have never actually bothered to look for the charging stations. They're out there, they're available. So once you overcome that mental hurdle, everything else kind of just, it gets back to buying a new car. It's exciting, it's fun. And above all else, the performance on them is it's second to none. I mean, being at a red light with just about any car, looking over at them and just knowing in my Q4, I've got you right off the bat. You're not cashing.
Right.
No, it's
Right.
yeah, people are very, very happy. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's probably definitely a more common element in, West Coast dealers, maybe some Jersey dealers. But I had 2 customers that I dealt with personally here that broke their lease early to get into a new one because they were just, they didn't want to be in a position a year and a half from now where there may not be availability for them. So for some people, it's a lifestyle choice, and they're going to, be in EVs for the rest of their driving years. That's just a decision that they've made. Where some people, it's an experimental thing. So you can find a variety of experiences and feelings around, E-Tron owners, Q6 specifically. I think they tend to be among the happier customers that we deliver just because they're getting into something brand new. It's incredibly spacious. A lot of our clients are, they have a family, they have children, and, they need to pack the car in. So it does provide all the means for that. My Q4 a little bit smaller. I don't have children that I'm, putting in the car, so it's different for me. But it is. It is. I don't want to say it was, because it still is a very exciting thing. I think that Q3 result, though, is because of the initial domino of the tax credit going away. Audi got on board pretty early, got out in front of it, dumped some incentive power into it, and that helped us at the dealer level, convert people from, they've had 3, internal combustion engine cars in a row past 9 years, and now they're driving the Q6 E-Tron, and they love it. So it's fun. Audi came out last month with a converter for the chargers to convert to Tesla chargers, which again just helps add to the amount of places and infrastructure that is available. So I think, the future for EV, it's not as clear and as certain as it once was. As of right now, Audi is still building EVs on a sold order basis. So if you want an EV, you can, come here. You can go to your local Audi dealership, and they can submit an order, and you will receive one. But for the rest of this year, it's a sold order basis only. They're going to try and get a feel for demand to see, what's needed. They don't want to overproduce, oversupply, or underproduce or undersupply. So it's after September 30th, the first week or 2 of October, there were a couple inquiries that we got on EVs, and obviously we had none left in stock. So it's, I'm sure there is a demand out there, but it's not as pressing as it was for those 90 days in Q3. That was just about every phone call we got was on the Q6 E-Tron. So it was a unique position to be in as a dealer. Typically we're, trying to, provide an experience and some information to help, either retain a customer or earn one from another brand. And it was the opposite for those 3 months. If people, do you have one? Is it the gray one? Is it I can be there. Okay. So
nice. Makes your job easy, right?
Yeah. Well, until you have 2 people in the showroom looking at the same car, then it gets a little bit awkward, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, were most people buying them? Were they leasing them? Was it split kind of evenly?
I would say it was, in my experience, it was about a 90 to 95% lease penetration. Almost everybody. The only way to take advantage of that $7,500 credit was via the lease. There was a time where certain components, I was not with Audi when it happened, but with Volkswagen, the ID4 being built in Chattanooga did qualify for the $7,500 or a portion of it, but it was handled mainly through your accountant. So we, stayed out of it as dealers. We can't provide tax advice, so
Sure.
but yeah, I did retail a couple here in Q3. Some people just came in and basically wrote a check. They wanted to own the car, but 9 out of 10 times it's a lease.
Yeah. Makes sense. So speaking of selling cars, we are, we're coming up to, we're in really now the fourth quarter. It's hard to believe, but here we are. There's only a few weeks left of 2025. Um, good time to buy at the end of the year, November, December. Incentives going on. The season of Audi kicking up again.
Season of Audi kicked off yesterday, and I don't just say this because I am an Audi dealer, but it is definitely the best time to buy. Like I said, I got my Q4 last year, right in the season of Audi. Programs went live yesterday. A ton of focus on A5 and S5. We've got anywhere from up to $5,000 in season of Audi customer credits on most of the models. A5, Q3, Q5, the Q8 as well, 25 and 26 Q8. So whether you're picking up a 2025 or one of the 2026s that are either just landing or on a boat right now, the credit's there. Lease rates they're back where they need to be. We've got a $499 special on the A5, which is the lowest it's been in a very long time. And that's exciting for us because we have inventory. We have the cars. Got a couple of S5s here too. I think I have 2 left right now and a couple more on the way.
Nice.
Yeah, there's and for those customers not looking to lease, we have 3.99 financing on A5, S5, and SQ5, 1.99 on the all new Q5. So these are rates that we have not seen with Audi in close to 24 months, 18 to 24 months. So it's exciting. And, we're always working on a way to try and provide, as much information and incentive as we can to sell a car. It's an incredibly relieving feeling when the approach lines up and the manufacturer subvents, whether it be through customer credits or low APRs and, great leases, that support. And I think that's exactly, it couldn't have come at a better time. And again, not just because I work for Audi, this is most certainly the best time to come in and consider buying or leasing a brand new Audi.
That's excellent. That's great to hear. And for as another benefit that folks hopefully know about, if they are Audi Club members, there's a 6% discount as well. Is that correct, Rich? Right?
Yeah.
You honor that as well on top of the other incentives that Audi might be offering, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the affinity program is something that we do participate in. I participated in it at Princeton as well. We had a lot of proactive brand specialists, salespeople that did some of the research and investigating, as we call it, with their clients to see if they, would qualify. But yeah, we do honor that. It's a 6% discount, and it's on top of all available rebates, incentives, APR. So it's stackable with just about anything. And, it's a very good program that I think we could do a better job as a dealer body of communicating to people because, some people are new to Audi, but have been with their company for 20, 30 years, and they're unaware of this information. So I think, staying, living in the programs, understanding them, communicating them correctly is key to success. So I've always found it to be a very good tool to use, all of the available incentives that Audi puts out to help try and close a deal. So yeah, we welcome any Audi Club member to, come on down. We do participate. We'd be happy to show you what that would look like, lease, finance, cash. And as I mentioned, that 6% is a discount. So you do get the eligible season of Audi credits on top of that. So a lot of savings.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, certainly you consider that. You consider the low interest rates that you mentioned, and the other programs that are offered here, the other discounts available. It sounds like if you're looking if you're looking for an Audi, right? This is a good time to maybe pounce on it, right?
Without a doubt. I mean, it's historically, I've been in this business for 14 years now. And historically, the end of the year is where any manufacturer or any dealership is looking to make their push. One of the great things about Audi is that they offer this for 2 months. Sometimes announcing it on December 1st, 2nd, or 3rd isn't enough time with the holidays for people to kind of get their affairs in order. So we've got a full 2-month run at this, and I think that's more than enough time between us doing our job, talking to our customers, outreach within our community, and also Audi's, advertising at like a tier 1 level to get the message out there. And there's always been just a little bit more excitement in the dealership when this season of Audi rolls around. I'm very much a summer guy. I was born in the summer. I love the beach. I love warm weather. I hate the cold. But there is something a little magical about the season of Audi, and other brands have their version of it, but it's nice. Just the marketing material, the holiday feel to it all, and it's not just the aesthetics of it all, but it's actually the deal. It's the ability to give somebody an opportunity to get into a car that they've dreamt about, and provide them an enhanced deal because of the programs is it just leaves a better feeling in the air. Whether it's customers or employees, people are just typically happier through these last 60 days. It's a fun time.
For sure. And you mentioned the inventory on EVs kind of low. Those are kind of built to order. Inventory on other vehicles, how's that at the moment? Pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, they've done a very good job. I have friends across the industry working with different manufacturers, and some have had issues where they can't get cars fast enough. Others have an abundance of them. Audi has done a very good job keeping us supplied with the cars that we need. U.S., it's an SUV country that we live in. So Q5, Q7, Q3, Q8 is my favorite Audi. It is a beautiful, beautiful machine. Quite expensive, but nonetheless, it's they don't produce as many Q8s as Q5s as you would imagine, but keeping that supply where it needs to be is huge, because that even within this state, Jersey, I mean, I've personally done swaps with dealerships as far as Atlanta, done a couple with Florida, some in Michigan, but the dealer network, we all are very supportive of one another. So it's if you're looking for the Chronos Gray with the pearl beige, but you don't want the 21-inch black wheels, someone has it, and it's just a matter of getting in touch with them and working out a dealer trade. So the only thing, I guess we would ask for is, more of the sport models, but they know what they're doing at the manufacturer level, keeping that supply where it's at. So,
right.
But yeah, no, we have availability in every vehicle right now. I would say the A5, Q5, Q7 are our biggest sellers. Q3 as well too, excluding the EV. And we have those cars, and there's an allocation that runs once a month, so you're kind of always aware of what's coming to you. Their visibility on the pipeline is transparent. It's a lot cleaner than some other manufacturers I've worked with, and the ordering system is great too. I mean, it's I have the ability, no matter what vehicle you're looking for, to take your order, place it into an order bank, and when the time comes when I'm allocated a buildable slot, the system will prompt me to pull your order into it. So it almost eliminates human error, but I'm very much on top of my sold order list, and trying to just keep people informed. Communication is key in any business. So, and I think Audi does a really good job communicating to us what's on the horizon, keeping us informed on release dates, any potential holdups in that. They jump right in front of any issue they may be facing, communicated to us, so we can keep our people informed and set the right expectation.
Right. Okay. So being selfish for a moment, so I'm that RS guy too, right?
Yeah.
How are the and you mentioned the A word, allocations, right? can be a sore subject with some other brands, right? You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, maybe I'll put you on the list, and maybe in 5 years, you'll get a call and something like that. Um, what's it like with Audi or their car? Like if I want an RSQ8, if I want an RS7, something like that, are the allocations out there? Are they available?
So they build the sport models, the RS models, once a quarter. So they are out there. It's not as instantly gratifying as if you wanted to order, an A5 or Q5 to your exact spec. Um,
Mhm.
and the timing of it all really depends on their production schedule. Like, for instance, I could meet you in January and you say, Rich, I want to build my dream RSQ8. I take your order, I put it in. And then I could meet another individual, in the middle of March, take his order, and your cars are going to be built in the same production cycle. And there's a slim chance with logistics that his gets here before yours. So,
Right.
you may not take so kindly to that if it wasn't communicated clearly to you. But
Right.
again, I'm a big communication guy. I'm a humongous transparency guy. So I definitely don't leave anything up to the imagination. I'll be with you every step of the way, as will my team. So they're out there. The allocations, the only model that we don't have allocation on right now is the RS5, just because of the redesign.
Hmm.
So that is something that if you place an order, I really wouldn't be able to tell you when it's going to go into production. But any of the RS3, RS6, Avant, RSQ8, RS7, those are out there. And the good thing is that, some people only want what they want, and we can accommodate that. Um, but as I mentioned with all the North American dealerships, dealer trading, swapping, as we call it, is very common. So, there's a chance that I might have a black RS7 coming to me, and you're only going to spend that kind of money if it's Daytona gray. And I
Right.
want to search, find one at another dealership, or even in the factory, but it belongs to that dealership. On a boat, it belongs to that dealership, and I can swap out mine and bring that one in for you, moving your timeline up dramatically. But I've
Hmm.
dealt with a handful of clients who want certain things, and they, if the car is already at the dealership, they don't want to do a swap sometimes. They're, I'd rather it just come right off the boat to me. Okay.
Right.
So if you're patient and you don't mind the wait, then it's certainly, it's not a problem. There was a moment in time there with, you know, uh, the talk of the allocations being impacted by the tariffs and everything. But
Right.
we moved through that. Audi moved through that very swiftly, and we've managed to really not feel any setback from that. Since I've been here since July, I think we've done close to 10 RS models. And as I mentioned, this store has a history of, selling a lot of the RS models prior to me getting here. So that
Hmm.
determines your allocation. But there is a demand for it. It's not, I certainly talk to more people who are looking for a Q5 than an RS7. But
Sure.
that's to be expected. But there's nothing preventing me from placing an order and providing an accurate timeline for somebody on
Hmm.
anything, excluding an RS5 at the moment.
Hmm. Okay. So we've talked a lot about the new cars and out there and what's in the pipeline. What about the pre-owned side of things? Obviously, you sell pre-owned vehicles as well. What's first of all, like, kind of what's your inventory level there, and kind of what are most folks looking for if they come in pre-owned? Is it the same thing? Is it the Q3, Q5s? Is it a little bit different?
Yeah, so the pre-owned demand, it really, you will never know your true pre-owned demand until you really try and test things out. So, prior to my arrival, the store did pretty well with pre-owned. Audi pre-owned, certified pre-owned. Um, I'm a big believer in trying to sell as many cars as possible. So if I take a trade in on a Lexus, on an F-150, a Honda Ridgeline, I'm going to run it through our shop. I'm going to make sure it passes Pennsylvania State Safety Inspection. Get the car at a level where I feel comfortable retailing it. There are instances where I take in a trade that's, too far gone. So that I'm not going to list for sale. I'll just wholesale that car. But the inventory level at our store right now, I believe we have 51 pre-owned vehicles in stock. About 23 of them are certified pre-owned. I'd like that number to be a little bit higher personally. I think that, we have the facility, we have the manpower to hold, anywhere from 60 to 65 used cars. And, the more cars that you stock, if you're stocking the right car and you're marketing and merchandising them correctly, you'll move through them. And pre-owned is something that, in the past 5 years has done, quite a roller coaster ride. Obviously, the chip shortage and COVID really turned that market upside down. It's stabilized since, and things are back to normal. But I'm a big believer in, any Audi that I can certify, I do. I think there's a tremendous value in, promoting and, just supporting Audi as a brand through that. Some customers, whether it be for, budgetary constrictions, they don't want to move into a new vehicle. They're looking for a pre-owned car. And there are a handful of people I've met, in my time that say, I never buy new, I only buy pre-owned. And, it's different strokes for different folks, but we run a 35 to 45 loaner car fleet here for our customers. So when those cars come out of loaner service, we list them for sale. But prior to my arrival, not enough certification was done on those. So any car that I'm offering as a service loaner eventually will come out. It'll run through the shop. I'll run it through Audi's CPO safety inspection, and it'll be sold as a certified pre-owned with the additional warranty, which is a tremendous value. And believe it or not, there are a ton of cars that I think, even at some point in my career, I would have said, I don't know if we'll be able to sell that car, but you will. As long as you're doing what you have to do to make sure you're visible on the internet, or where, that's where most people are looking nowadays. Unless you're lucky enough to be right on a busy highway where people just fall into your lot, you have to be relevant on the internet. But there's a lot of demand for, 2019, 2018. In the 4 months I've been here, we've probably sold an equal amount of non-certified Audis as we have certified Audis, simply because we're taking the time to, bring the car in, run it through the shop, get it up to spec, make sure it passes the inspection, the safety inspection. And you'd be surprised. I mean, we've had customers come from as far as Maryland. I've had several from New York, New Jersey, and they're almost exclusively on pre-owned cars because, whether it's the 2017, Q7 I took in that's got real low miles, or it's a 2019 S7 with high miles, but it's the right price. And, someone's always wanted an S7, but they're 26 years old and don't necessarily have the job to afford a brand new S7. They can buy a pre-owned one. And it's fun. It's exciting. I started in this business as a pre-owned salesperson, and you'll never know what you're capable of until you actually attempt to try and do it. And there's really no boundaries with the pre-owned market. I mean, their dealerships, I always tell my staff, if I take in a car with 150,000 miles and I wholesale it at that auction, it's going to be bought by somebody who is a dealer, and he's going to list it for sale, and someone's going to buy it. So why not just have them come buy it from me? Well, there's a lot of data that goes into that, but assuming we are looking at our information correctly, we can make those decisions relatively quickly. And then it's just about staying, on top of all of the, associated processes with getting that car frontline ready, as we call it, making sure the shop at the right time, making sure it's clean, it's detailed, making sure that if there was curb rash, we take care of that. I don't like the idea of, a pre-owned car having this negative connotation because, in my opinion, pre-owned cars are just as good as new cars. It's really, it's about what you're interested in. So some people don't like the idea of buying a new car and it depreciating. And they feel by buying a pre-owned car, they've avoided that. So it's, I'm here to serve in that sense. I've always found success in trying to listen rather than talk. So if I can find out what is driving the customer's, wants and needs, I can help better point them in the right direction. And keeping a variety of cars here is the easiest way to overcome that. I have right now, I have a couple of pickup trucks outside. I've got a couple of off-brand cars. I've got several older Audis out there for sale, but the bulk of those 50 cars right now, I think I said, is like about 23 certified pre-owned, and most of them are ex-loaner vehicles. There are some lease returns that we've taken in, some trade-ins, and if it qualifies, if it's within Audi's restrictions or guidelines, I'm going to certify the car because I just think that that's a tremendous value for a customer. It not only shows that we, the dealer, are backing the car, but the manufacturer is too.
Sure. Got any Audi diesels on the used line?
I wish. You show me a place where I can pick some up, and I will go
Right.
for them. Yeah,
Seriously.
people hold on to those cars, man. It is an amazing thing. If I'm looking at a repair order and I see 176,000 miles, I'm pretty sure my eyes can scour a little bit more. I'm going to find those 3 letters, TDIs. They have a sentimental value to their owners, and I mean, listen, if Audi decides to change their plans and go back to offering some diesel models here, I think that they would find success. It's everything in moderation. I don't think we need our entire supply chain to be diesel, but if you're going to build for even number's sake 100 cars, 5 to 10 diesels I don't think it would hurt anybody. I think you would find somebody very excited to see that. The diesel and the wagon are historically, and in my mind, very European things, but they do have a home here. First of all, there's a ton of Europeans that come to this country that are looking for that familiarity. And then there's a ton of people who, admire that. I mean, if you look at, across different industries, fashion, food, film, all of these industries draw influence from Europe, which is, just older than us. It's been around longer. So it's something that I think will never go away. Same reason that, vintage clothing is a thing. It's people like nostalgia. It really does. It does something to people on an emotional level. And I think that Audi's aware of that, but, given the demand of the U.S. market, they're probably going to continue on, filling the needs that they know are there right now. If you have 90% of the people saying we want SUVs, we want hybrids, we didn't really touch on too much, but like hybrids are something that, for past year, we've heard a lot of people asking for, when's Audi coming? Are they coming out with any more hybrids? And, the amount of resources that go into building a hybrid, because you're basically building a car that runs on electricity and on gasoline. It's a very difficult thing to manage because, for the manufacturer to find a way to produce that vehicle at a profitable enough margin for them is very difficult. And, that proves to be one of the more complicated things in meeting that demand. When I was in Princeton, I mean, we did like I said, very good job with EVs. We had quite a few clients looking for more hybrid options. The Q5 plug-in hybrid being the only option new car wise that we had, they did not stay in stock long. People would come from, not right around the corner if we had one in stock. And, so I think when the year wraps up, Audi will take a look at, however they gauge it, right? Whatever means they have to, to assess demand and see what makes the most sense going forward. But I can tell you that for every person who's looking for an EV or a hybrid, there are about 3 or 4 others who are like, I'll only drive a internal combustion engine. So, we have to keep those people in mind too, because, they make up the lion's share of Audi owners. So
Sure. Absolutely. So we talked new, we talked used. Now let's go a little bit older if you don't mind. So Talking about like Audi models from say the 90s, early 2000s, right? Uh, is there, we have a survey out there now to for Audi Club members about heritage parts and Audi Tradition, right? And getting trying to get Audi to maybe supply more parts to support those vehicles. They're still out there. People still love, like you said, there's the TDI folks. They love their cars, right? Well, somebody's got a car, their Audi from 1993, and they might love that too, or 2003, even, right? But it can be harder to find parts for them. Do you does your dealership, do you see many of those cars come in through your shop? Do you support repairs for those older cars that are maybe 20, 30 years old?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we do offer support and service on those vehicles. Wish I saw more of them. It's maybe the word is not out there, but yeah, we have 17 technicians, and I would say 17 enthusiasts as well too. So there's not you could throw a wrench in the air down there and it would land on somebody who wants to talk to you about your 2003 Audi. That is very much an exciting thing. And the training that and the certification that the technicians go through, it covers a lot. And most of them at my shop here, most of them are probably did not have their license in the 90s, maybe some in the early 2000s. But that doesn't mean that they're still not, obsessed with it. Again, back to the topic of nostalgia. It's
Right.
something that people love. We have a great display downstairs of some like original Audi racing gear and some old Audi parts. So yeah, I mean, I would love to, have Audi, make those parts a little bit more available. We are more than capable of servicing those cars here. I think that most in my opinion, I don't know this to be true, but in my opinion, most of those people probably have their own, local mechanic that they work with, somebody who's a specialist, European or German cars. And, they handle probably all three of the big German manufacturers. And we as the dealer are capable of doing that too. And we have a direct line with the manufacturer. So, if it is OEM parts that you're looking to acquire, you have
Right.
no bigger advocate and partner than us. So yeah, I would love to I would love to get an idea of how many of those let's call it 2005 and older Audis are in my area, and put something together for them just to welcome them back in and let them know not only would we be happy to service you, we'd be excited because it's some of the like many things in life, the further in time you go, the more complex things can become. It's
Right.
part of the beauty of an older car is its simplicity. It's the fixes are, the technicians almost have like an instinct on what to look for. Whereas now there's a lot of times that the technician will start with, attaching a computer to your car and letting, the data transmit and find out that way, which I think
Right.
is super efficient. Don't get me wrong. But I like the idea of like, going with your gut. Like, oh, I've seen this before, so
Right.
yeah, we would totally welcome anyone out there who's got an older Audi that wants to, once over, have us look at it. We'd be more than happy to. I'm sure there would probably not be a car with more attention to it than that car. Whatever technician got assigned that car, there'd be 3 techs standing there like, wow, man, like, let me look at that. So
Right.
it's just as exciting for us as it is for the owners. I think, if you go to like these Cars and Coffees, there's always some vintage models there. My wife works for a Porsche dealership, and she, some of the cars that I see that come through there are, as old as my parents. And it's pretty impressive that, between the owners and the mechanics, the technicians working on the vehicles, that they're still in such great shape. So I'm sure
Right.
there are some older Audis out there, and please, if you're listening, bring them in. We would love to, assist on that.
That's great, great. Thank you, Rich. And yeah, so and just one more plug for that. We do have a survey out there, like I mentioned. Check out Audi Club on social media. Check out our blog. Look for that survey. Spend 5 or 10 minutes. Let us know your thoughts on Audi heritage parts, and not only can you have your voice heard, but you're entered into a contest. You might win some cool Audi swag. For your trouble. So definitely take a look for that. Um, Rich, we talked new, we talked pre-owned, we talked heritage, we talked EVs, future concepts. Anything else from your perspective is kind of the man on the street there that sees it all that you would like to share with our listeners in the world of Audi.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I touched on it before. I'm very happy with the season of Audi promotions, and I think now is a great time to come revisit or start your journey on what could be your next car and consider Audi. But I'm even more excited for 2026. I think with the Q3, the new Q7, Q9, I think we're finally going to be in a position, and I say finally personally, because obviously Audi has been here before, but it's my first go round of a ton of new products.
Mhm.
And it's just, it, in my opinion, it's going to help keep our current customers happy, but it's going to attract a lot of people who may have in the past, not been Audi people for whatever
Mhm.
reason, not a bad reason, but I know this year alone, between both stores that I was at, there were a lot of people that I met personally that had never had an Audi before, and
Mhm.
believe it or not, those that was among the top demographics of people that we ended up selling Audis to.
Mhm.
So what was not necessarily new to an Audi customer was new to them. Next year, I think coupling that experience with now everything being new, it really puts us in a position to, to get back to the forefront of the luxury cars. And it's uh it's never it's never a question of the car's reliability, of its safety, of its performance. A lot of times what drives businesses, what's hot, what's new, and you know, in the Northeast, a predominantly lease heavy market, lease payments drive business too. So I think Audi has definitely put their best foot forward right now with season of Audi, and I think
Mhm.
if it goes as I expect it to, we will see that carry on for, hopefully, another 24 months. So it was we were in an awkward position to start. We're finishing very strong, and the future is very bright. I think part of the EV push there kind of threw a little bit of imbalance in everything.
Mhm.
And, you know, search results and marketing and advertising was just so heavy on the EVs. It may have suppressed some of our other offerings, whereas, the stage will be set for us to, have our core models all redesigned, all available with production and allocation streamlined. So um, I would say if you're not ready to buy an Audi in the next 2 months, that's fine because you're going to have another 12 months to do it next year. But if you can right now, these are the best programs that I've seen all year. So it is definitely a time to, call your local Audi dealership and ask them what they can do for you.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Yeah. I might have to take a ride up and see you in person, Rich, for
Oh,
sure.
I'll be here. I'm here every day.
Fantastic. Huge thank you to Rich Ortiz from Audi West Chester for joining us here today. Always great to get perspective from somebody right there on the showroom floor, as they say. So thank you for joining us. For the folks that are listening, if you're not yet a member of Audi Club of North America, check out the description below for all of the benefits that we offer. Obviously, we've talked a lot about this 6% discount that is stackable on top of the other programs. That's a big one, but there's other benefits as well. You can follow all the latest Audi news every day on audiclubna.org. And if you're in the market for a new or pre-owned Audi, stop by, see Rich and his team at Audi West Chester. It'll take great care of you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next All Wheel Driven. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Joe.